Hi there. Welcome to a Facebook Live. Sorry I'm 4 minutes late. Facebook decided to do an update that you need to Chrome update that on the biggest Facebook Live I've ever going to do, it decided to give us grief. Anyway, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about one thing alone. AAT have made a massive announcement today. All AAT, I'm sure you all know this, all AAT exams were cancelled on the 22nd of March, Mother's Day, not that it's relevant, and no one's been able to sit in exams ever since. And then in that time, ICAW, ACCA and SEMA have all managed to get their exams online. And since the 22nd of March, which was nearly 2 months ago, all we've had from AAT is they're looking into it, which isn't the most helpful thing. They've been looking at it, they've been working very hard behind the scenes to get this up and running. Today, just like this morning, we have had an update. So AAT are going to be running remote exams, which is fantastic, really, really good news. There are a few caveats to that. The first being, it's not going to be until sometime in August. We don't know when in August. It's going to be sometime in August. And it's going to be only available initially for advanced bookkeeping, management accounting costing, final accounts preparation, and at level 4 professional synoptic. 4 exams. So you've got the 3 mandatory units that go into synoptic at level 3, and you've got the synoptic at level 4. So you've only got 4 units, and it's only those 4 units. Other exams will follow. I do not know when. It's obviously an evolving situation, but from sometime in August, you will be able to sit advanced bookkeeping, final accounts preparation, costing, and professional synoptic at home. Now, the clued up ones amongst you will know there is a professional synoptic window in August. We don't know if that is going to be when you are able to sit professional synoptic. We're quite keen that they bring that window forward to as soon as possible. I see some people are excited about this. We're all excited about this. It's probably the most exciting thing that's happened to me as an AAT tutor ever. Even more exciting than winning PQ Online College of the Year, point at the wrong place, and AAT's large training provider in the year. This is amazingly good news. However, right, so that's the thing. It's 4 exams. It is sometime in August. There's a problem with Advanced Synoptic and UX. They will not be following anytime soon. The reason being is all the other exams use Secure Assess, and all your answers have to be typed into Secure Assess, and that's it. It's just basically your numbers and your written answers. However, for using accounting software and for Advanced Synoptic, you have to download something onto your computer, and then you have to upload something into Secure Assess. Now that's where the problem is, because there is a chance, a small chance, but there is a chance that you have a perfect answer to your UX exam saved on your desktop that someone else has done, and you upload that rather than what you did. So those 2 exams, as it stands, will not be coming for remote invigilation. I'll come to UX later. There are technical requirements. You won't be able to do it on an iPad. I'm pretty sure you won't be able to do it on an iPad. On a computer, it will almost certainly need a webcam. You have to have a certain spec. Looking at other awarding bodies, what they've done for remote invigilations, you can't have an AAT water bottle. You're allowed a clear glass of water. Other awarding bodies say you're obviously clearly they're allowed to be the only one in the room. Obviously there will be some form of microphone, so you haven't got someone whispering in your ear. These are not AAT's rules. These are what other awarding bodies have implemented. I imagine they will follow suit. Becky, in answer to your question, the reason is professional synoptic. It's 6 tasks, 4 of which are written. You just write your answer in. You can't even copy and paste in those exams. Whereas advanced synoptic, it's the download and upload. That is the issue. So that's the news about remote invigilation. It is coming sometime in August for 4 exams initially, and it will be expanded for others. In other mega news, I wasn't expecting this at all, Foundation Synoptic. Right, Foundation Synoptic, you don't need to sit this exam anymore. They will estimate your mark. You don't have to sit the exam. Crazy. There's a few more rules around that, but basically, it will be, Foundation Synoptic is going to be based on your results for bookkeeping transactions, bookkeeping controls, and elements of costing. You will get your estimated mark for Foundation Synoptic on the 13th of August. So, in terms to answer questions 8, level 2 are coming. But Foundation Synoptic, you don't need to just sit the exam. It is based on your previous results for bookkeeping transactions, bookkeeping controls, and elements of costing. You'll get results on the 13th of August. Now, for those people, it's got to apply. It only applies to certain people, though. Obviously, you've got to sat all 3 exams. If you've not sat all 3 exams, they can't base it on just BTRN, because you might be really, really poor at elements of costing. You might be really, really good. And so you've got to have sat all 3 exams. And one of them, at least, must have been sat between the 1st of April 2019 and the 31st of March 2020. So you've got to have sat all 3, and one of them just be sat in that period. And you'll get an estimated result. Now, people are going to ask about why only Foundation Synoptic and not Professional Advanced Synoptic and things like that. The reason being is that Foundation Synoptic obviously tests you anything from bookkeeping transactions, anything from bookkeeping controls, and elements of costing, and it has its own material. Now, its own material, let's be honest, isn't the most demanding thing. It's basic numeracy, literacy, office skills, that kind of thing. But it's also a very small part of the Foundation Synoptic exam. So if you don't know the difference between when you would send a formal report or when you send an email because you're popping out for lunch, it's not going to have the same bearing on your overall ability as it would be, for example, Advanced Synoptic. So Advanced Synoptic can test you on anything with advanced bookkeeping, final accounts preparation, and management and costing, but it can also test you on ethics and spreadsheets. So ethics and spreadsheets makes by far a bigger proportion of the Advanced Synoptic exam than for the working effectively stuff for the Foundation Synoptic. So that's why they can't estimate your mark for Advanced Synoptic, because they have no idea if you're any good at ethics or spreadsheets, because you've not done anything. Whereas Foundation Synoptic, large portion of that exam is based on your BTRN, BKCL and ELDCO knowledge. So that's how it's going to be calculated. Issues. I've just read through notes. I've not spent hours on it because I only found it. We only got it an hour ago. If you qualify for a calculated result, you cannot opt out of getting a calculated result. You will get a calculated result on the 13th of August if you've sat one exam between the 1st of April 2019 and 31st of March 2020. You cannot opt out. There will be a charge. It's £49. Does anyone else see anything here? If you qualify for a calculated result, you will get one, and there's a charge of £49. No comment. What else about that? If you do get a calculated result and you don't like it, you can then sit the exam at a later date. And if you get a better mark, you get a better mark. That's great. However, I know we want to come to this, but I don't know if you all watched Boris on Sunday night, wasn't it? Yeah, Sunday night. Anyway, today's the day everyone's back at work, allegedly. So in theory, people can go back to work. People can do stuff. So in theory, you could be sitting AAT exams if it's safe and you keep socially distant. AAT are working on that, shall we say. We'll come back later. But if exams come back online in centre before the 13th of August and you are qualified for a calculated result, you can't sit that exam. You have to wait for the estimated result coming on the 13th of August, and then you have to, then you can sit the exam if you want to get a better mark, if you want to sit the exam. However, like I say, you can't opt out of it, and there's a £49 charge. So that is it for Foundation Synoptic. I mean, Foundation Synoptic isn't, it's one unit for one level. So it only affects obviously level 2 students, and hopefully as time moves on people just sit the exam in centre as they do normally. Wow, lots of questions there. So Foundation Synoptic is obviously the one we normally do fourth at level 2, which leaves using accounting software. Using accounting software has the same issue as Advanced Synoptic. In fact, you've got to download some stuff, and then you've got to upload. Well, you don't download with your Foundation using accounting software. You create your reports on Sage or Zero or Sage 1, and then you upload it into Secure Assess. And obviously you might have a perfect set of reports on your computer, someone else's work. So what are the options for using accounting software? Now AAT is strongly pushing this, but this isn't a new development, but it's about RPL, Recognised Prior Learning. So basically, that is using either a previous qualification that you've done. Prime examples are IAB, International Association of Bookkeepers, ICB, Institute of Certified Bookkeepers, Skills First, no idea what that is, and City and Guilds. If you sit their corresponding exams, you can get an exemption from using accounting software. You can also use work-based evidence if you do use Sage in the workplace. For this, you need a training provider. You do need a training provider to submit your RPL. RPL can only be used for a maximum of 50% of the level, which isn't an issue as long as you've passed all the others on the exam. On the slight side, you can't use RPL for synoptics. Anyway, I don't suppose you would. So that's it. As I mentioned, AAT are also looking at exams being in centre at some point, as long as it's safe. As and when, we don't know. Also, to note, additional synoptic windows are being looked at. Like we say, I don't know if when Professional Synoptic is sat remotely in August, whether it'll be the synoptic window that is scheduled or it'll be a different date, hopefully earlier from our point of view. And we're also hoping there's going to be a synoptic window in July. I can see I have a billion questions. I will try and work through them as best I can. Caroline has asked a very good question, why can't we do financial statements? This is a blanket answer for BTRN, bookkeeper controls, elements of costing, indirect tax, financial statements, decision control, budgeting, and the optional units we can't bother to name. They are coming. We don't know when. It will be after August. So they will be coming in. Same thing for level 2 and MDCL. Like Yolanda, yeah, it is frustrating if you've got one optional unit left to complete. It will be coming. Do I know when the exams will be starting again? No. But people are allowed to go back to the workplace as long as it's safe. So it is coming. Watch this space. No, there is no announcement about exams are definitely not going to be running in August or definitely will be running in August in centre. There is no firm date for this. It might be June. It might be within May, probably unlikely. But we don't know when exams will be back in centre. Now, obviously, in-centre exams are great for lots of people. There's other people who maybe want a shielding or have underlying health issues. They would probably have to wait until remote exams come in August or afterwards if they want different units. So obviously in-centre exams would be great, but it's not for everyone. That's that. No, we haven't had confirmation that the advanced synoptic or professional synoptic exams that are scheduled for week commencing 22nd and 29th, that's how sad I am, I know, off by heart, that they are definitely not or definitely are going ahead. Obviously that depends on lots of things. It depends on lockdown, that is outside of AAT's control, let's be honest. But obviously if things go very well and the lockdown's lifted and we can all go to the pub, the June ones will probably go ahead. if there's a second wave, the junior ones will not go ahead. But that is not down to AAT. Makis, if you completed 2 units at level 3, basically you're going to, I'm assuming it's Elco, it doesn't make a difference, it's not, it's the same principles. You will have to wait until either the exams are in centre, which we don't know when, or that exam comes on remotely, which will be after August. Yeah. Calculate result is literally only for Foundation Synoptic. As far as I'm aware, it's not going to be available for any other unit for the reasons I've explained. That Foundation Synoptic, its material that hasn't been tested in an exam is actually a small part of that exam, whereas Advanced Synoptic, Ethics and Spreadsheets, which has not been assessed before, is a massive part of that exam. That's why. Yeah, so we should calculate my FLC result as well. Yeah, I mean, using accounting software, the RPL thing's been brought in for people who are literally about to finish level 2 and they're just itching to sit that exam. Using accounting software, I don't know when that will be coming in remotely, if at all. That's probably a bit more like Advanced Synoptic, one that's going to be more aimed towards in-centre exams, because you have that upload issue that AAT can see if you've got notes, like a set of course notes behind you. If you're in an exam, you wouldn't be allowed all those notes behind you. Mugs maybe. But we can't see I assume they can't see what's on your desktop or on your files. So that's the issue with the using accounting software and Advanced Synoptic, is you might have something on your computer already that you have pre-prepared. That's why. Whereas with all the other exams, even level 4 budgeting, anything, decision control's got a written thing, you don't know what's going to be in that exam until it pops up there, and you have to type your answers into the answer boxes. So that's the issue around using accounting software and Advanced Synoptic. Abby's asked a question about if you've got an exam cancelled with ourselves, first intuition, how do you stand to book them in August for MAAC? That all depends on whether we can get you in centre in safely. Basically, if it's safe, we would love to do it. If it's not safe, we're not going to do it. Let's be honest. That depends on a variety of things. Some that aren't in our control, some of which are not in AAT's control. What else is there? If exam centres, well, we've not been told otherwise, and I'm assuming, but if exam centres reopen, you still have the option to sit remotely. We've not been told that if exam centres are going to reopen, that everything that's going to happen in August is going to be shelved. Because there will be people who can't get to an exam centre for a variety of reasons. They're shielding, or they live with someone who's vulnerable, or they've got underlying health issues. And we assume that this is a temporary response to a global pandemic. I can't imagine that this is going to be a long-term solution for AT going forward. Jill has asked, when do you have any ideas for the early synoptic dates? No idea. The next ones are going to be in June. No idea if they're going to run ahead. After that, they're in August. No idea if they're going to go ahead. Well, Professional Synoptic will go ahead in August, all things being well, because you can sit that at home. Advanced Synoptic, not so much. Gareth, my colleague, has just pointed out that first thing is just we are hoping to restart assessments under socially distanced conditions fairly soon. But again, at the moment, AT haven't switched the switch on. So if we said today, right, we think it's safe, everyone can come into our centre, we've we shields, PPE, hand sanitizer, we still can't schedule assessments, even if we wanted to and it was perfectly safe. We need AT to switch it on. But we are hoping that AT will flick the switch. You can schedule exams, and we have appropriate safety measures in place that for you and for us, that you can sit the exam. As soon as that is possible, obviously we'll communicate that. But at the moment, we don't know when. We are, fingers crossed, it is soon. Will they have to pay the usual fee to AAT for the exams in August, but not the venue fee? That's a good question. There was actually nothing in the material that AAT released about that, but there is no way you are going to sit those exams for free. I imagine, much like the calculated foundation Synoptic grade, you will still have to pay the £49 admin fee for the exam. You probably won't be charged the invigilator fee because you're not that. We haven't had anything price as in terms of pricing, because obviously someone will have to invigilate you. There may be an additional remote invigilation fee, presumably set by AAT, because they'll be doing, I assume they'll be the ones doing the invigilation. That has yet to be revealed, but there will be a fee. I can guarantee that. You can't sit all the exams on level 3 for 3 months extended subscription ends. Do you have to pay again? If your subscription ends and it's been extended already by 3 months, I'm 99% sure you will have to pay for your subscription again, because at the end of the day, AAT are providing you with all the e-learning, all the sample assessments, and the ability to sit their exams soon. So I would imagine that will be the case. You will have to pay your AAT subscriptions. Dawn has a good question. How do we know how the calculation for Foundation Synoptic average grade will be done? We don't. I imagine, I'm almost certain, it will be based on the weightings that we use for the overall grade. So bookkeeping and transactions and bookkeeping controls are quite big units. I think they slightly outweigh elements of costing in terms of your overall grade. So it will be based on the weightings that we give for your overall grade for the level, but obviously we'll exclude using accounting software because that's got nothing to do with that. Ellie has just asked, it's quite concerning for people who need to shield and their exams are not on the remote list. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with Advanced Synoptic because as it stands, AAT haven't told me if that is ever going to be done remotely. That is the issue with the download-upload thing with Advanced Synoptic. If you can't get to centre for health reasons when the exams do come online in centre, I don't know what's going to happen. Is the answer to that. A solution, actually, is you don't actually need to do it to move on to level 4. Advanced Synoptic obviously tests you all the ethics and spreadsheets and some of the other stuff from a distance learning provider point of view. Now this excludes apprenticeships that need to do that thing, so take that with a pinch of salt. If you're paying for the course yourself and you didn't want to sit Advanced Synoptic for whatever reason, you could start level 4 and all those exams can be sat remotely. You'll still get the qualification. I will say I'm AT qualified. You will still be able to get MAAT after your name, or FMAAT if you've been there for 5 years. And you could just not sit Advanced Synoptic for health reasons. And to be honest, employers won't really care. But obviously it's different things for different people. Certain students have to sit that for whatever reason. It's just an option if you can't sit it. I asked about cost if exams sat remotely. No idea. Because obviously you've got the exam fee that will always be there. Someone will be invigilating you. It's not done by computers. It will be done by a person who will be looking in at you and making sure your office is tidy. Yeah. So there will be a fee. They won't be doing that for free. Yeah, we don't know about fees as yet. The level 3 exams in August will be back-to-back or split across the month. Now, the thing with it, AVBK, FAPR and MAAC, they can be sat any day of the week. So I don't see why you couldn't do AVBK on Monday, FAPR on Tuesday, MAAC on Wednesday. I don't think you'd want to, but there's no reason why not. It's not like Professional Synoptic. There's going to be a Synoptic window in August. We don't know when. But those exams, as soon as they're back online, they will be every day. Almost certain about that. So Kim's asked, you need to do Yeah, you won't get a calculated result for Foundation Synoptic unless you've done bookkeeper transactions, bookkeeper controls, and elements of costing, and you've sat at least once in the year up to the 31st of March 2020. Fiona, could they connect via TeamViewer or something similar? Maybe, but I imagine that's another system. We don't know how this is going to work. They've obviously looked into it far more than I know. So obviously that was an issue. So you've got to remember AAT is an off-qual accredited qualification, which is why employers like it. So they've still got to have a robust examination system. They can't have people being able to cheat their way to a qualification, because that's not fair on you, who's worked really hard to get the qualification. So it's not just we'll just let anyone do anything. It's got to have rules. Karen is happy. I'd like to hear. I don't know if you have to shield and you're an apprentice and you have to sit advanced synoptic. I don't know what options are. There are other. It's best to speak to your training provider, should we say, before I say something. I'm not 100% sure, because there are options out there, but you need to speak to training provider, to be honest. Your endpoint assessment doesn't necessarily have to be advanced synoptic, should we say. That's also that's another good question. Sabrina's asked, because obviously to sit professional synoptic nowadays, or back in the day, when we used to get haircuts and stuff, you had to have physically attempted budgeting, decision control, financial statements. If you haven't even attempted statements, you couldn't sit professional synoptic. So if you've done budgeting, decision control, obviously you'd want to move on to the synoptic, but you'd want to move on to statements, but you can't sit that exam in August as yet, but you can sit professional synoptic. So we have asked if AAT could remove that restriction for now. So if you've done budgeting, decision control, obviously you'll need to study financial statements because statements is in professional synoptic, but you could sit professional synoptic and then come back to statements. We've asked that question, but we haven't got an answer to that. So obviously, this is an evolving situation. They're going to get feedback from providers and students, things like that. But it's a massive step in the right direction. And we're obviously feeding back about we need professional synoptic window early in August. We need another synoptic window in July for if you're going to sit them in centre, and that would be a massive help if you could remove that restriction. It's the same thing for level 3, although not anyone will be sitting advanced synoptic at home, that you've got to sit AVBK, FAPR and costing. So, but if you're sitting it in centre, you should be able to sit MAC anyway. So that's a bit of an issue about that. Thank you, Paula. Team FI. Yeah. Childcare issues. Feel your pain. Obviously you don't want to be looking after children when you're doing an exam, because if they come in, that's probably a no-no. You can't have anyone coming in your room. There will be speakers listening in. You're gonna have to sort of manage the children. That's really good, Kim. Kim's just signed us up with us for level 3 because she can't finish the level 2, and she's always so pleased with the level of information she's been given. Team FI, like I say. Any other questions? Centre in Scotland is closed completely till the June. I don't think after our remote option is good. Yeah, there was a date to work on. I would imagine, now don't quote me this, I could be just making this up. I could be making this. August is obviously a trial with 4 units. If it goes well, I can't imagine it is a big thing to then flick the switch on, indirect tax, BTRN, bookkeep controls, even the level 4 ones, because the principles are the same. But don't quote me on that. But I imagine after August, it will not be very long. Jan has asked, what happens if you paid for your exams already with us, and I presume the same situation applies to other providers, but you want to take your exams remotely? No idea. I have not even thought about that. Contact us and we will, we will definitely deal with it. But again, I didn't even know about this 2.5 hours ago. So again, it's an evolving situation, but we wouldn't just fleece you. We're not that type of organisation. PTAX and BTAX will be able to start remotely. I assume it'll be very soon after August, but we don't know when. But we've just been told other assessments will follow. I assume that's anything other than Foundation Synoptic, using accounting software, and Advanced Synoptic. I assume. I don't see any reason why not. From a technical point of view, it should be the same. Sarah's asked, I'm doing FAPR remotely, will give me the same. Again, to be fair, it's your college. They're just absorbing this information as we speak. I would think it's very unfair to keep your money. Just my opinion. We won't be doing that. But yeah, it's an evolving situation. Definitely speak to your college about that. Jill's asked, what happens to the level 3 Synoptic if we decide to do level 4? Nothing. You still got it sit. You won't get a level 3 qualification. That I can guarantee you. You won't get your certificate. You won't be able to get ATQB status. But you can move on. And then potentially you can go back and finish your Advanced Synoptic off at a later date when it's safe and you have to go back in centre. But there's no reason why you couldn't start level 4 when hopefully budgeting and decision control, etc. will be online after August. Don't worry about it, Jenny. It is technically my job to read all that, so I'm literally just regurgitating what I read. But I'm glad you found it useful. If you give me a like and a share, I would appreciate that. It's been a very stressful 2.5 hours, especially when Facebook decided to faff around this morning. Abby, can you start level 4 with us if you're not taking the Synoptic for level 3? Yes. Yes, you can. I should expand on that, not just because I want your money. As a training provider, we have a duty of care. We wouldn't, we want to look after our students. That's what we're about. We're not just about taking your money. We've got to make sure that you are on the right level for you. So if you come to me and you said, didn't do very well with advanced bookkeeping, failed that, not past costing, lots of likes and hearts there. They go a long way. Might even get a mug. Might even get a mug out, actually. There's a lot of people watching. Might give a mug away. Someone might, at random, might win themselves an FI mug. Slightly more safe to go to the post office now as well. Didn't like giving them away. Anyway, yeah. Heart increases your chance to get in a mug than a like. Anyway, digress massively. So as a training provider, we've got a duty of care to make sure that you are on the right level for you. So if you have not passed advanced bookkeeping and costing, let's be honest, you're going to struggle at level 4 because you haven't proven competency at those 3 units. From my point of view, I want to make sure that you come on to level 4 and you're fine. Now, ethics comes up at level 4, let's be honest, but very, very gently. You need to know, and we cover it again. Spreadsheets do not come up at level 4. So obviously, as an accountant, you should be able to use spreadsheets. Anyone basically works in office should be using spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are really important. But is ability to do a VLOOKUP going to affect your ability to do a flex budget in budgeting? Not in the slightest. So my sort of rule of thumb is if you have passed advanced bookkeeping, final accounts preparation and management costing, I would have no qualms about you starting level 4 and you could go back to do advanced synoptic as and when you want. That's what I like to hear. Karen said she's got lots of emails me, she's doing mocks. Irrespective of whether exams are done remotely or in centre, do your mocks. You are kidding yourself and cheating yourself if you don't do your mocks. Because even if you get to sit your exams in your slippers, in your pyjamas, you'll still be paying money for them. There will be a fee, I guarantee you, so don't take any chances. Do your mocks. Meg's just, I think, in fact, she's not alone. Nadia's asked as well. So in recap, in August, the exams that you can sit at home will be advanced bookkeeping, final accounts preparation and management accounting costing at level 3 and professional synoptic at level 4. It is sometime in August, we don't know when. Other units will follow. I assume other units are every other unit other than foundation synoptic, using accounting software and advanced synoptic. I assume. Don't hold me to that, but I just assume, and that will be soon after August, I think, but I don't know for sure. I'm stuck with one of 8 exams at level 2 at Sage, haven't got provider. Again, Carolina, an option is you could start level 3. If you've not done using accounting software, there is no follow-on at level 3 for using accounting software. None whatsoever. If you can use Sage, it's not going to affect whether you can do accruals and prepayments in advanced bookkeeping. You could start level 3 and you could go back to do using accounting software. As an aside, I didn't do level 2. I had double entry bookkeeping knowledge, came straight in at level 3. I'm a fellow member of AAT. No one cares. The rule to say I'm AAT qualified to get MAAT after your name is that you've done level 4 and you've got 6 months experience to get MAAT. But you can still get the qualification and say I'm AAT qualified just by doing level 4. Kate asked a very good question. Will it be possible to sit the exams abroad? Haven't even thought about it. I don't see why not. You're using the internet. Obviously, you can't have rubbish internet, but nowadays, no matter where you are in the world, most places have decent internet. I don't see any reason why not you can't sit the exams abroad. That would be cool. Sitting in an exam whilst you're on holiday. That's just come to me. That would be amazing. Yeah. I don't see why not, really. Why not? If you take an exam for AAT level 2, complete 3 units to select the certificate. No, is the answer to that. You've got to get the certificate. You've got to get all 5 units to get the foundation certificate in accounting. So you've got the first 3. Hopefully you can sit them at home soon after August. Foundation Synoptic, you'll get an estimated result using accounting software. RPL is an option. If you do all that, you get the qualification. Now, one thing you could do, if you've only sat bookkeeping transactions, bookkeeping controls, register on the bookkeeping qualification, which I think will cost you £49. You'll get a level 2 certificate in bookkeeping, get a certificate, move on to level 3, and then do the full advanced diploma in accounting at level 3. That is an option, and don't sit using accounting software. A mug would complete my fantastic day. I've had a good day. You know what you have to do for a mug. Tax unit still go ahead in July. Wow, good question. Yes, for those, I presume you mean our online live courses. Presumably. Exams coming back online. Obviously, Professional Synoptic, you could sit that in August. We may have to rearrange from our online live dates. We were kind of hoping the remote invigilation coming sooner. It hasn't, but it depends on the in-centre situation. Obviously, we're not going to expect everyone to risk their neck to sit an exam. That's ridiculous. So if it's not safe, you won't be able to sit an exam. Never mind, will we expect you to? But it would be really, really cool if the virus went away and we all went back to the pub and you could sit exams in June in centre and there's no need for remote invigilation for 99% of people. Don't know about that. It's all an evolving situation about that. One thing I would say with our online live courses, we will not be ploughing ahead and just running them and just saying, well, we've taught you now, you've not a chance to sit an exam in 7 months, but bye. We won't be doing that. We will come up with a plan. Next question. Will you sit more than 1 exam in a day? Yep. There's no reason why you couldn't sit 1 exam in a day. I've seen someone actually sit bookkeeping transactions, bookkeeping controls, advanced bookkeeping and final accounts preparation all in 1 day, and they passed them all. They were knackered by the end of it, but they did it. So certain units sit very well together. So you could sit personal tax and business tax pretty much on the same day. There's loads of overlap. Same with advanced bookkeeping, final accounts preparation. You know, you don't have to have that mental sort of mindset of study 1 unit, sit the exam, pass it, move on. Remember back in the day, 10 years ago when I did AAT. Well, no, I did AAT about 15 years ago. But 10 years ago, it was paper-based exams. So paper-based came in with AQ 2010. So before that, it was paper-based. So advanced bookkeeping and final accounts preparation were actually part of the same exam. So people did them on the same day anyway. You didn't have a choice. So You could very well, it obviously depends on your finances because you have to pay. And you're also going to have to take into account the fact that if you were in centre, it's going to be really busy. Really, really busy. Even I've got to provide a dress slip certificate and complete my last exam. Yep, you don't have to have a training provider. We do sell self-study courses that are very competitively priced, and we do explain all the answers to our questions, unlike some publishers. So you don't have to have a training provider. As long as you pass the exams, no matter how you study, whether you study in the classroom, whether you study online, whether you study online live, or you self-study, everyone sits the same exams, everyone gets a certificate. So don't worry about that. Alexa, you're right. Is the answer to that? Hayat just said, just signed up for level 4. Happy with the experience so far and looking forward to completing the qualification. Good to have you on board, and anything we do to help, just let us know. Yeah, well, Alexa, the average for Foundation Synoptic will not include using account software. It'll be based on booking transactions, bookkeeping controls, and elements of costing. You've got to have sat all three, and you've got to have done one up to the year ended 31st of March 2020. Whether you've done using account software or not will have no bearing on your overall grade for Foundation Synoptic. An FI mug with champagne in, what an idea. Any other questions? Joanne, if I got above 90% in all of the level 2 exams, do you think it's likely to get a distinction? Oh, got 90% in all exams with FI. That's good to hear. Might run out of mugs at this rate. Yeah, basically. Because obviously it's taken from an average of booking transactions, booking control, and elements costing. We don't know the percentage that it's going to take it from those 3 units, but it's going to take it from those 3 units. So as long as all 3 above 90, it can't be dragged down under 90. So you will get something above 90 for Foundation Synoptic. Then it all depends on using accounting software. Now, if you use RPL for using accounting software, you have a problem because you will only get 70%. If you sit it in centre, you can get a percentage. If you use RPL, you can't get more than 70%. That is worth bearing in mind. But using accounting software is a very small percentage of your overall grade. So what you can do is get your grades, put them in the grade calculator, get your grade from calculated grade from Foundation Synoptic, which you'll get on the 13th of August, put them in, and then you can work out whether you can get away with 70% on using accounting software to get a distinction. I would probably guess at yes. That's very rough maths in my head, and that's without knowing what results you got. But I would probably say yes, because it's such a small part of your overall grade. The other thing I would say is don't get hung up. If it's a choice between getting RPL, getting using account software finished and moving on to level 3, as opposed to get distinction, just get the RPL and move on. Distinctions are nice, but far better to sit more exams. That's good to hear. FI are fab. Team FI. My average overall was 91%. What's the calculated exam? It depends, Alexa, because obviously we don't know the percentage that they're going to take from BTRN, bookkeeping controls, and elements of costing. We don't know as yet. They're going to let us know, and then you'll find out on the 13th of August. That was Alexa. So good. Got 100% on using accounting software. You will get a distinction. That'll be fine. So if I do a special fee for particular assessments? Yep, you can buy units individually from us. £215, I think, costing is on its own. And you can buy self-study, then upgrade. You can pay for the online live, another £60 on top of that. Yeah, we do individual units per on all our courses, so you can just buy the one. And if you've just got one unit to finish off at level 3. 79 for one, and then 100. Again, Alexa, we need to. We don't know the percentages. I mean, I imagine BTRN and BKCL are going to be a large proportion of the overall grade, but we don't know. We don't know as yet. Indirect tax, I imagine, will be one of those follow August. It's a bit annoying because that's the last one you need Typically that would be the last one you do at level 3. Typically that would be the last one to do to get the bookkeeping qualification, so there's probably a few people just waiting for that one for the last to get the qualification, but I imagine that will be following in after August. Caroline has asked a good question. If you sat your exam 2 years ago, it will have been on AQ 2016, so it doesn't make a difference. As long as everything's on 2016, which came in 2016, they're all valid, so it doesn't matter when you sat your exam. Shivali, good to see you again. Level 4 modules are not remote. Professional Synoptic is the only one that's going to be remote, and it's going to be in August at some time. We don't know when. We're pushing for early August. It's not guaranteed to be in the window which is currently being advertised. Kirsty, I've done 3 exams. One is teacher 2 merit, just Synoptic UX to go. What does this now mean for me? So I assume, Kirsty, well, you have passed booking transactions, booking controls, and elements of costing. I'm assuming 1 was in the year up to the 31st of March 2020. In which case you will get a calculated grade for Foundation Synoptic, and you'll get it on the 13th of August. UX, you need some way, if you want the full certificate in accounting, Foundation Certificate in Accounting, you need some way of getting a pass in UX. You can't sit that exam remotely. It's not coming remotely, so you either need to sit that exam in centre, which would be the better option, or you need to use RPL. RPL, for anyone else, is a bit of a nightmare. It's a lot of work involved. It's not an easy way to get a qualification. I would definitely try and sit the exam in centre if possible and if safe. Actually, Jodie's asked a very good question. No, you do not need to sit the Advanced Synoptic to get the Advanced Bookkeeper status. So I assuming by that question is you're registered on the Advanced Diploma in Accounting. You're an accounting student. So to get that status, you need to have completed all of the Advanced Diploma in Accounting, which would involve you sitting Advanced Synoptic, which as it stands isn't probably possible at home. Hopefully you can sit it in centre. Don't forget, in centre is still a possibility at some point, I imagine. But what you can do, Jodie, is you can, if you've passed Advanced Bookkeeping, FA and Final Accounts Preparation and Indirect Tax, if you've passed them, you can then register on the bookkeeping qualification. That will cost you £49, and then you get a certificate. Now, the issue is, then you're a AATQB member. So you get letters after your name, AATQB, great. And you get loads of extra resources with it. Well worth it. Now the issue is when your student membership comes up, you don't pay the student membership. You pay your AATQB membership instead. So you won't have to pay your AAT student membership. So the £99 that you pay, that'll be gone. But you will have to pay your AATQB status, which I think as AATQB membership, which is, I think is £120. So when your student membership comes up, you will have to pay that to carry on sitting your exams. But you'll also get AATQB after your name and lots of e-learning and resources and things like that. Grace, you can take Level 4 Synoptic in August as long as, and this may change because we're thinking back about this, as long as you've sat budgeting, decision control and financial statements. Now hopefully they might relax that restriction because obviously you can't sit budgeting, decision control and financial statements in August. It's going to change. But yeah, if you've sat those 3, you're sorted and you can sit Professional Synoptic in August. As an aside, make sure you do mocks for that because it's a tricky exam. Six questions, 4 of which are written, so very hard for you to mark yourself, and it's 3 hours. So you need to, if you're sitting at home, you need to make sure that no one comes in your room for 3 hours. I imagine you're not allowed toilet breaks if you're doing these exams at home. That's just come to me. And obviously you're not allowed an AT water bottle in front of you. It needs to be a clear plastic bottle. I assume that's what the other warning bodies are doing. Anyway, has anyone else got any questions? Because I'm very aware this has been the longest Facebook Live I've ever done. And yeah, cool. Obviously, this is all new to us. We're still figuring out, still getting the bottom of it. Lots of things to iron out. If you've got any questions or queries, please contact your tutor if you're a first intuition student. We are here to help. We will answer you as best as we can. But remember, it is a evolving situation. Yeah. On a slightly related note, win an FI mug. If you know that new "in it together" emoticon, that's a good one, isn't it? I haven't had that one before. I like that. Like I say, any questions or queries, please let us know. More questions. Yeah. Well, Don, good question. If in-centre exams are a possibility, we've not been told they're going to pull remote invigilations. We've not heard any otherwise. But that's not saying that in-centre exams will be available before August when they are remote. We don't know. But we've not been told otherwise. So, not been told otherwise. That's us. Indirect tax 2016 books expire. Now, indirect tax 2016 is the accounting qualification, but I assume you have the FA19 books, and that's the finance act. That's the important thing. They, as it currently stands, will go out of date at the end of December 2019. 2020. Yeah, 2020. We're in 2020 now. Dates flying around. So they'll FA19 will go out of date at the end of this year. Now, with indirect tax, it's not like personal tax or business tax, where if your books are out of date, you need to get new books because you're just making what is already a hard exam even harder. Indirect tax doesn't change so much, so even this year, the VAT thresholds didn't even change. There was a tiny little addition about making tax digital. So what we did at First Intuition, we just made the new updated books available to students who didn't get the exam sat in time and just said, just read this half page. And that's literally all they needed to do. They didn't need a new book. But officially, an FA19 indirect tax exam book will go out of date at the end of this year. Karen, am I still on tonight too? No, it's Thursday night. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on Facebook, technology permitting, I will be doing another Facebook Live, and it will be how to get the job that you want from your AAT studies. It's going to be amazing. Probably not as popular as this one, but it's still going to be amazing. I promise you. I promise you. That's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Also, whilst I have you, my good colleague Dave Malthouse is doing a Zoom student webinar tonight at 6 o'clock, where obviously by that point we've had a bit more time to divulge, sort of go through the information and go through it. So you can register for that. It's 6 o'clock tonight. You register it, obviously you can watch it from home. I will give you the link. I'm going to pin it. It was there, pin comment. I'm on Firefox. Chrome's done something stupid. You and me both, Karen. You and me both. Renata, no idea about exam fees, whether they're going to cost more or less. Obviously, remember, when you went in centre, the exams varied. So some cost more than others because there was a higher admin fee at that exam centre. I imagine, and don't quote me on this, but I imagine there's going to be one exam fee for all. Don't know what it will be, though. There will be a fee, though. That's good to hear, Dawn. I'm glad you're loving FI. Yeah, like I say, Jan, I didn't know about this until like 3 hours ago. It's been a crazy, crazy morning. But yeah, there's my link for tonight's student webinar. It'll be on Zoom at 6 o'clock with Dave Malthouse, who's a legend. Any job you want, AAT tutor. Maybe. I get asked that all the time. Cool. It's like 2 o'clock now. Is anyone last time for any questions? And also, don't forget we have our free revision sessions that are open to everyone, and obviously being a free revision session, they are free. We're covering nearly all the units. We have now added advanced Synoptic to the mix. Can't say fairer than that. You can sign up here. If you can't make the times, if you sign up, the recording will be sent to you and you can watch it at a later date. So we're doing pretty much every unit other than, I think, budgeting and professional synoptic. We might revisit professional synoptic because we now know when you can sit it. You and me both, Karen. It's been a crazy morning. So yeah, any questions, queries, if you're a FI student, get in touch with your tutor and they will try to help you as best they can. It's obviously an evolving situation. And we will, as soon as we know more, we'll let you know more. We will go through this with a fine-tooth comb. And if anything else pops out, we will let you know. But there's lots going on here. More comments. Well, which takes August. Right. Last time I'm going to say this, because I know people that are joining us. The exams that you can sit in August from home are advanced bookkeeping, final accounts preparation, management accounting costing from level 3, and professional synoptic at level 4. Other exams will follow at some point. I assume not long after, but I don't know. Ones which will not be sat at home are foundation synoptic, because you will get a calculated grade in that. Now and then. Using out software and advanced synoptic, they will not be sat at home as it currently stands. My Facebook Live about getting the job you want from your AAT studies is on 7 o'clock tomorrow night on here on Facebook. If you can't make it, it will be on this page. Go to videos and it will be there. And you can still give it a like after the event. There we go. Right. I think that's it. I literally, that's all I know. So I'm not holding anything back. No big announcement. No Steve Jobs. One more thing. That's literally all I know. And if we do know more, we will let you know more. Cool. Glad you registered. Right. Wow. What a day. I'm going to go. Any questions, queries, get in touch. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for giving us a like, because that is greatly appreciated. Or they're in it together, emoticon. How do you win a mug? You got to be funny, and B, I've got to be in a good mood, but I'm in a good mood today. Funny's always good. Anyone who nearly no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, you can watch this video later on if you go to our Facebook page, First Intuition AAT. Search for First Intuition AAT. Make sure you like the page, because it's really good. We do lots of these updates on here. You'll get notified that we've gone live. I love going live. Yeah, Karen got one, having a gin. That goes a long way in my book. Yeah, so make sure you like our page, and you can see all our videos that we've done over the period of time. And watch them at a later date. And you can still like them at a later date. So we've done loads. We've done like benefits of AAT, how to choose your optional units, how to be an AAT tutor, how to sit 2 exams at once, how to study when you can't sit the exams. We've done loads of stuff. Yeah, cool. Well, I hope you all found that useful. I appreciate you all attending, and then hopefully I'll see you all at 7 o'clock on Thursday night. Also, actually, talking about Facebook Lives, Dave and Kelly Malthouse, the Accountancy Dream Team, they do a Facebook Live that's on 6 o'clock on Monday night on this page, but other First Intuition sites, and it's literally Ask Us Anything. So it's not just AATs, ACCA, CIMA, ICAW. They're really good. Make sure you watch that. Yeah, no, you know, it's all evolving. They might be able to give you a bigger update by then. Cool. We love doing the FI lives. I do. Cool. Right, I am really going to go now. Because much like remote invigilation, you know, bathrooms and Facebook lives don't mix. Cool. Right, thank you all for attending. I will see you all at 7 o'clock on Thursday night. But like I say, any questions, queries, please get in touch. Thank you, and nice suntan. That patio doesn't sit on it by itself. Someone's got to do it. You can ask for a mug, you know. I like to do it in batches, because I don't like going to the post office, because people don't keep the 2 meters. So if I've got to give one, there's a chance that 3 people might get one. Maybe. Cool. Thank you all later. And yeah, sunglasses and sun don't mix. I will see you all later.